Hello everyone, in this video, I'll be telling you what the objectively top 10 best albums are. I'm just kidding, this is my personal top 10 list. Feel free to let me know what albums you like or dislike from this list or what albums you haven't heard of. Anyways, on to the video. Number 10, Maya by MIA. Disclaimer! Yes, I'm well aware that she's long fallen off and that she's now also an anti-vaxxer. I'm also aware of her 5G protection brand that she's established recently. However, it's still worth celebrating what she used to be. This album was seriously ahead of its time both sonically and lyrically. Production-wise, it was Yeezus 3 years before Yeezus. Even the lyrics of this album are extremely ahead of its time too, with its themes of the internet, as well as her calling it out as a tool of government surveillance on the intro track, The Message. It was seen as crazy at the time, and people were already starting to call MIA a conspiracy theorist. The songs are abrasive but still maintain a pop edge. Did I also mention that she made a proto-hyperpop song with Tell Me Why? Her voice is seriously auto-tuned with the chorus, Tell me why things change but they stay the same. It's practically, again, hyperpop before hyperpop. And songs like Tequila and XXO could 100% still be released today. Seriously, Tequila would go triple platinum and go number 1 on the charts if it was released today. It's such a fucking good song. Number 9, No Love Deep Web. Now, Def Grips are already one of my favorite artists of all time, so it was between this and The Powers That Be for my favorite Def Grips album. However, I think the writing on this album puts it above The Powers That Be for me. It is probably Def Grip's most nihilistic and abstract work. The songs feel more like chopped up vignettes than coherent tracks, and I mean this in the best way possible. For example, the track Come Up and Get Me details somebody in an abandoned building who's surrounded by people who kill him, who might not even be real. This whole album is full of this whole surreal narration style. MC Wright's lyricism is as nihilistic as ever. Like on the song War of Dogs, where the chorus just says, it's all suicide. The album is almost hypnotic. Def Grips normally goes for super abrasive and loud songs that make you think, what the fuck is this? But this album takes a more stripped back approach. It aims to focus more on creating atmospheres than just screaming in your face. Now, there's still some of that on songs like Bass Rattle Up in the Sky, a brilliant digital hardcore track, and No Love, but most of it is a lot more stripped back. And it really does stand out in Def Grips' entire catalog. Number 8, Forget by Xiu Xiu. Yet another album that stands out in the respective artist's catalog. This is easily Xiu Xiu's most accessible album. This song has a soft dreaminess that a lot of Xiu Xiu's other stuff doesn't have. However, this doesn't mean that it loses Xiu Xiu's craziness and dementedness though. It is one of the most experimental pop albums, if you could even really call it pop at some parts, I've ever heard. It seems as if Jamie loses grip of their sanity as the album progresses. The song structures become less coherent and the lyrics obfuscate. For example, here's the lyrics on the song Jenny Go Go. Too glum to be a chum, too brute to be so cute. What have I done? Go. Too thin to be a bat, too fat to be so bad. Take me instead. The title, Forget, has a double meaning, the fear of being forgotten as well as forgetting atrocities such as sex trafficking. Lyrically, the album touches on one-sided love, sex trafficking, death, and dissociation from one's identity. The text on the cover translates to We Forget. Overall, Forget is both a very tragic album and very beautiful all at the same time. I think its fragileness is what makes me connect to it so much. Number 7, Atrocity Exhibition. Now, firstly, this is my username, so of course it's going to be here. Secondly, this album is seriously crazy, similar to Forget. It sees Danny Brown in his lowest point in his career, downing drugs and again, slowly losing his grip on reality. Seeing the world spin around him and barely knowing what he's doing when he's recording half of this, as he said himself in an interview. No other album really sounds like this. It's an endless cycle of addiction and depression. Downward Spiral, the opener, sees him at his lowest point. I'm sweating like I'm in a rave. Been in this room for 3 days. Think I'm hearing voices. Paranoid and think I'm seeing ghosts. He's already lost it! And then the closer, Hell for It, acts as a temporary reprieve. He finally seems like things are going up, only for him to end up right back where he started with Downward Spiral. This album contrasts its extreme bleakness lyrically with crazy upbeat production. Though a part of me does wish I could have another Danny Brown album like this, knowing the conditions and the mental state he was when making this makes me very grateful that we won't be getting another Atrocity Exhibition. Number 6, In Color by Jamie XX. Now this is probably the lightest and also the most fun album on this list. Sometimes you just have to party. It's a ton of fun and is easily my perfect summer album. I've discovered this in 2024 and again, summer. And that summer ended up being amazing, which I owe about 70% of that to this album. It sounds so bright and lush throughout, and time flies for me when I listen to it. It's almost hypnotizing. Tracks like The Rest of Noise and Orbs are so beautifully atmospheric. It soaks me into the music. It consistently makes me happy every time I listen to it. And again, it's so much fucking fun, man. You gotta listen to this. Number 5, By the Time I Get to Phoenix. Man, what a fucking devastating album. A lot of it was informed by the events going on in 2020 as well as the passing of Bronx, making their last album as Injury Reserve easily their bleakest. It uses scattered song structures and abstract lyrics such as On Ground Zero to communicate overwhelm. Some of the songs even sound like they're crying for help, such as the beat on Top Tips for You or the heavily distorted Black Country New Road sample on Niece. The closer of this album, By Storm, is incredibly cathartic, despite not being particularly positive per se. It rains, it pours, but damn, it's really pouring. It's an honest acknowledgement of their own pain, but that they can still maybe try to move forward. By Storm. It makes me really happy to see them continuing in this sound in My Ghost Go Ghost and maybe finding some closure as well. Number 4, Glitch Princess by Yeule. It's commonly known by the people I talk to about music that Yeule is one of my favorite artists of all time. They consistently make very unique and interesting electronic pop music. However, I feel like this album especially stands out to me because of how dark it is and how much it experiments. It borrows elements of post-industrial and glitch and even dark. Like as though you're also being dragged down in this sort of pit. The whole album, except for Don't Be So Hard on Your Own Beauty, is extremely sad. It's like as though you just put music in someone's darkest thoughts from their journal. But in spite of all this, it's a very comforting album for me. Number 3, I Lay Down My Life For You by JPEGMAFIA. I think this is a very controversial take, but I do really think that this is his best album. And I really love all his discography. I've mentioned him being my favorite artist of all time multiple times on this channel. JPEGMAFIA's pivot onto rock rap in this album feels very natural and seems like a natural homage to the rock artists that had shaped him when he was growing up, such as Linkin Park. It's easily JPEGMAFIA's most vulnerable and honest work. I appreciate the contrast between his raw anger on tracks such as Jihad Joe, wild title by the way, and his honesty on tracks such as Either On and Off the Drugs. He lays down all his flaws for us to judge, acting almost as a character of himself in the first half of the album as his angrier self, lashing out onto people. I think how honest JPEGMAFIA is on this album is also why it stands out to me as his best album. Seriously, tracks like Ex-Military, which I honestly think is like his best song, feels like a trip into his own mind and all the different parts of it. Seeing him start dissing his haters and talking himself up and talking about his military time to deconstructing the way he interacts with other people online and offline, but then going back into the same flexing, it feels like an honest portrayal of his own toxic cycles. And I've seen very few other albums where the artist will critique themselves throughout the course of their own album, almost like a meta critique of themselves. Number 2, Because the Internet by Childish Gambino. Firstly, I'd like to say that I'm currently working on a 1-hour essay on this. There is a whole universe around this album, a 74-page screenplay, and tons of Easter eggs connected to it, which are honestly just such a delight to get into. It's very rare that you have artists really concerned with making sure that their albums stick with people and building worlds around the stuff they make, really utilizing the album as an art form. Though it can be easy to write it off as just a simple pop rap album at first, it actually has a very abstract structure. This is seen by basically how every track on this has a beat switch. And the themes of isolation in the digital age, as well as the effects of the internet, whether good or bad, was barely discussed in 2013. Additionally, this album ran so alternative hip-hop projects like Flower Boy could work. Did I mention that he also kind of predicted 6-7? No? Okay. And for my favorite album, Grey Data by FiveStar Hotel. Listen, I'm well aware of how much this album honestly sticks out like a sore thumb, but hear me out. I discovered this last year and it's quickly became my favorite album of all time. It has both my favorite opener, Parallel Deserts, and my favorite closer, Full Circle, ever. The album's consistent noisiness is so cathartic, it feels like an instantaneous release. I can't get enough of it! It is so replayable. I practically listen to this at least once every day. Its seamless transitions make it feel like one consistent wall of noise and do a great job in just swallowing me in. Now, ironically, I did listen to this as a joke originally. I called it lobotomy music and even recommended one of the songs, Parallel Deserts, to my friend just to kind of see his reaction to it. And when I listened to it for the first time, I liked it, but I told myself that I probably couldn't see myself listening to it again. Well, look where we are. I've thrown this on when I wanted to work on something and just focus for a few hours, so I wanted to hype myself up. And it has seriously been a huge part of my life since I listened to it. And those are my top 10 albums of all time. What are your top 10 albums of all time? What's your favorite album? Let me know in the comments. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and subscribe if you want. Also, check out my Discord in the description. As always, I'm Gabs and have a nice day.